Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss the $9 billion impact bourbon has on the economy of Kentucky. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Luke Otero, Demetrius Kane, and Tim Swyatt.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
Hello. So, yes, we're going to be talking about $9 billion industry, what that means to Kentucky, and what we think of Kentucky. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Luke Otero said there's something he wanted to talk about. What is that, Luke?
Yeah, so last weekend, my son Lucas and his wife Allison and granddaughter were here, and we just sat down and talked and drank, and he asked me, he goes, "Dad, what was your first concert?" He never knew that. So I'm asking all of you, what was your first concert? And I don't mean the Teletubbies or
the Wiggles.
The Wiggles?
Yeah.
Or the Explorer.
Yeah. So, think about it.
Yeah, I know mine, 83, ZZ Top, Eliminator Tour. That's the first concert I went to. So my dad was a police officer. Wasn't big into me going to concerts because he worked security at concerts and tried to keep me away from for as long as he could. But by the time 83 rolls around, I'm in high school, started in high school. So, yes, we went to the ZZ Top concert.
You're not missing ZZ Top in 1983.
No. So, yeah, I still love those guys today. Miss Dusty for sure. But great for sure. I like those guys.
Yep.
So. Yeah.
Mine would be summer of 1997, probably, was Chicago at I can't remember the theater anymore off the top of my head. But that next summer was the real big. My second concert was Pearl Jam at Soldier Field during the Ticketmaster strike. That was something. So I like talking about the second one is more than I like the third one.
Oh,
the second one more than the first one.
Yeah. The third one was Bieber. Third one was Bieber. He went to see.
Third one was Beaver and the Turtles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think we've done this question with Demetrius before. I don't think he's been to a concert or something, or maybe in the last year he went to something and didn't know who it was.
You know, I'm going to be completely honest.
Right.
I went to a concert about 2.5 years ago with my wife.
Yeah.
For Stapleton.
Okay.
It was pretty good, you know.
Okay. For Stapleton.
First concert.
What was that?
So that's a good first concert.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
I
Stapleton.
thought it was pretty good.
He's an amazing musician. Amazing.
That was the first and only concert.
So talented. Yeah. So
If it
talented.
wasn't for all those people, Demetrius would have been happy.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for all those people, you would have been happy.
Well, the problem
They
was
should come and play at your house.
they don't allow me to bring whiskey in.
Yeah.
You got to keister it. That's what you got to do.
You got
I
to
did.
find a better way. How can you not figure out how to bring whiskey in?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I did. It just was frowned upon when I ordered a very large Coke.
Yes.
Styrofoam. I was like,
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to figure it out then. Yeah.
Yeah, the old keister maneuver. That's
Yeah.
oldie but a goodie.
McNew, how about you?
So Steve has always hated on my answer on this, but it was Brooks and Dunn around
Oh, God,
2005.
yes.
Oh,
Oh,
Listen,
God.
it was
My
a weird
God.
time, though. So listen, it was a weird time when
Brooks
like
and
the
Dunn.
alt band Three Doors Down was opening for them. Why in the world was Three
My
Doors Down
God.
touring with Brooks and Dunn? That
Because
was
you
my
should have
first
known
concert.
what not to
It's a
go
weird
to.
time.
Yeah.
I am all for the opening act. That's kind of like when Guns N' Roses opened up for Aerosmith. When
Did you
ever
Appetite
go
for
to
Destruction
Linkin
was just
Park?
coming out.
I can't believe McNew, who likes to position herself as a young person. It'd be like if you asked me, what was my first concert? I'm like, I went to the Glenn Miller Band. It was a big band sound. Yeah, it was near the tail end of his career.
We
Yeah.
caught
My
Andy
God.
Williams.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the Ozark
Andy,
Theater.
big into Andy
So,
Williams.
like,
That was, yeah,
I-
Brooks and Dunn.
Cornfield. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. It was
A
normal.
couple of guys in their 80s
concerts.
strolling
I'm going to
around.
country concerts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds wonderful. Amazing. Amazing.
Did you ever go to a Linkin Park concert? I feel like that would have been right up that like.
No, I have not. No.
Okay. No.
They weren't really my thing. Like I've been to like Fall Out Boy and stuff. I liked Fall Out Boy. Linkin
Fall
Park
Out
wasn't
Boy.
my jam.
Chicago
but-
Boys. Well,
Yeah.
Wilmette Boys. Different.
Okay. Luke, how about you? What was your first concert?
Well, it was in 1970.
Just don't say
Seven.
Brooks and Dunn.
Well, you got to remember, I'm 82 years old, so I was in 77. It was 38 Special opened up for Peter Frampton. That was
Oh, that's a good one.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
at
I thought-
Frampton at the height of his powers. Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen Peter Frampton a couple times, but I didn't get to see him back in those days. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. So,
I saw Frampton in summer of 2019 in his final tour.
Really.
He did an
Think it'll be his final
amazing,
tour?
amazing cover of Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden.
Uh-huh. Okay,
Which was
yeah.
like, holy, it was the guitar was haunting. This is right after Chris Cornell passed too, as well. Then all of a sudden, Frampton pulls that one out of his back pocket and plays like, holy cow.
Yes. Yeah, Frampton.
there you have it. Yeah.
I like Frampton.
38 Special.
Did you guys ever go see Ringo Starr and his all-star band when he used to do that? Man, he used to have some guys. Frampton was part of that, and you name it. Well, I used to love
Never
it.
made it to that, Steve.
Joe Walsh would be part of it. Yeah, just
Peace
all
and
these
love,
big
peace and love.
Todd Rundgren. Yeah, the list goes on and on. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Ringo Starr was just in St. Louis not too long ago, maybe over the summer.
Wow,
He was
man,
at the Great Fox Theater, what was it, the Fox Theater?
the Fox Theater. Yeah,
Yeah, I want to say maybe
it's
September.
a beautiful
I
venue.
remember
You ever
seeing
go to
Ringo
Fox
Starr.
Theater in St. Louis?
I haven't yet. I've been waiting to go down there and plan a show and go see it. Yeah, go see
Yeah.
something.
It's really nice. Really nice. Yeah. That's where they shot the Escape from New York. My dad was in charge of security on that one. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was back right before they fixed it up. So it was recently purchased and then getting ready to fix up, and it was in dilapidated shape, and they shot scenes from the movie there, including the fight scene with Ox Baker. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. There you go.
St. Louis
And-
history.
Yes. And this has nothing to do with that story, but one time Ox Baker said to me, because when I was a kid, I liked wrestling, and I was at Wrestling at the Chase, and I didn't like Ox Baker because he was a bad guy, and I was yelling at him, and I was telling him, I don't like you, and I'm glad you lost and all this. And he turned around to me and said, I'd like to slap your butt. And I sat down in my seat, and I didn't say another word to him. And my dad loved that story. Oh
There's a
yeah.
whole nother small talk. Whoever's been to a wrestling event.
Oh yeah.
'Cause, wow. Those things I have I can't wait to go back. They are so much fun to people watch, and they are very entertainment. It's very entertaining.
I had two stages of being a wrestling fan. When I was a kid, like that little kid, I loved wrestling, and then I got into it back in the '80s too, in the Hulk Hogan era and all that kind of stuff. The
Night Train,
big WF, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Junkyard Dog, and all those
Junkyard
guys.
Dog.
Mr. Wonderful. I liked all those dudes. So
Superfly.
yes, yeah. Good stuff. I wish it could
Slaughter.
come back like that. It's just good entertainment. And those guys, well, it's not a sport. It is incredible. They are incredibly athletic, for sure.
Very, yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I came back away from it. It was something.
For sure. All right. On that note, it is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Demetrius Kane. Demetrius Kane, we're going to start with you.
Fantastic.
Wrestling for him was he had to grab hogs and shit like that, corral them. There you go.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I hope
Wrestle Spears.
Yeah. No.
Anybody out there should know that I have no idea.
Right.
Movies
Anything in pop
for the
culture.
last,
Right.
pop culture.
Pop culture, no. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me put the cork back in this one.
Okay. Go and stick
So
with
this
that
is
one.
the Planters Ozark Island whiskey. Let's see if we can tie for last with Tim Swyatt.
Okay. You're on your way. You're on your way.
Yep,
Produce
like
nothing there. Produce nothing.
Tim,
Yes.
let's race for the bottom.
All right. We'll let McNew go second this time because it seems like she can talk. So
I'm kind of back. So I have some Bakers.
Bakers.
Oh, talking over a cork pop. That was beautiful. I heard it.
I think Demetrius has the lead right now.
Wow.
I didn't know I was competing for the bottom at this point.
Yeah.
I had the bottom.
Here.
I didn't hear anything from
Katie
McNew
proved.
there. Yeah. So, all right. Demetrius has the lead. Luke, you're next.
For some public, it's a barrel pick from someplace here, and in honor of Freddie Johnson.
All right. Okay. That's our lead right now. Luke Otero has the lead. We'll bounce over to Tim Swyatt.
I got one of my friends' bottle here of from Redline. It's a single barrel finished in vanilla brandy casks.
Oh, nice.
My tippy top favorites. So let's see here. Swyatt on the set.
Okay. Hey, we heard it.
We heard a faint sound.
We heard a faint sound. It wasn't enough to knock Luke off, but there you go.
Nope.
Follow McNew had the Heaven Hill Bottle Bond. I'm doing that one this time. So here we go. Not enough.
Hey,
Luke Otero grabs it.
Sneaks in here with that silver fox silky hair and
and Freddie Johnson.
Freddie Johnson brings it home.
Freddie Johnson gets the assist on that one. All right, what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about this $9 billion impact on Kentucky's economy. From Bourbon, we'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
My name is Ryan Thompson. I'm a billionaire who buys stupid scotch, and you are listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about bourbon's $9 billion impact to Kentucky's economy.
Yes, we are. So you think about that. It is amazing, right? The amount of impact that bourbon has on the state of Kentucky. Pretty cool stuff, correct?
Very much
Oh,
so.
absolutely, absolutely. When you see what the impact wine has in California, this is getting very close to the same type of impact.
Yes, yeah. So, and you're talking about, obviously Kentucky population versus that of California.
Yep.
It's amazing that you can be talking about them in the same breath, actually. So it's pretty interesting thing going on there. And again, it's helped. It's been like a PR campaign, really, too. I mean, it's uplifted, the state of Kentucky. That this feeling like, hey, they're, everyone associates them with Kentucky Fried Chicken, in the 70s and 80s and maybe before that. They've evolved past that. I mean, now, it's kind of more upscale. Bourbon's way more upscale than a fast food restaurant. So, I think it's good on them. I think it's pretty exciting.
They've done many things to enhance it. You just look at what the legislature has done, what the Kentucky Distillers Association has done, creating the Bourbon Trail, the Craft Bourbon Trail, and then now Whiskey Row is probably one of the best places. Even if you can't go to the outlying distilleries, you can still visit Heaven Hill, Bardstown Bourbon Company, McNew.
Get a taste for the distilleries and a taste of their whiskey, right?
Yeah.
You're also surrounded in that same area by some of the greatest bourbon bars in the world. You got hotels that are bourbon themed right in that area. I mean, it's a great place to be. Whiskey Row is fantastic. So, yeah, nothing bad to say about Kentucky and bourbon. They just have that down. They just do it better than anybody else. So, yeah, cool stuff.
They still have a slippery slope because they tax the whiskey in the barrel every year. So they have to make sure they balance that out with investment opportunities and flexible laws for growth. So to your point, I think tourism, if it wasn't for the tourism dollars coming in associated with it, I'd like to see the breakout of that versus tax dollars on sales. But you still have a record inventory of about 12.6 million bourbon barrels aging across the state.
Yeah.
That wasn't incentive. You're not incentivized to go put stuff in a barrel, pray to God that people drink it at some point in time, and you survive with a profit at the end. So something has to be working there. And they're saying that distilling's created more than 23,100 jobs in Kentucky with annual salaries and wages of $1.63 billion. If you divide that out, that's $70,000 salaries for people working in the industry.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So it's exciting what's happening there, and everyone talks about when's this going to end, and I guess all things come to an end, but do they? I mean, look at California and the wine country. Luke, how long has California, been able to uplift itself and be, this wine capital and wine still a thing? And you could say that sure, there's kind of ups and downs within that, but it's not swooped like straight up and straight down. It's kind of
they've made, and they've as big as the industry is, they've been nimble enough to adapt to all the market conditions since 1975, actually 76, when the two wines, American wines, Napa wines, won the Judgment of Paris, and then that just started. It was kind of like the shot, and I don't know, in the movie what is the bourbon story of Neat or whatever, where Elmer T. Lee makes the single barrel, and that's the shot to the world. Well, in the wine industry, it was when the American wines beat the French wines, and then it was just an onslaught. It hasn't stopped. It's slowed down. It has its economic kind of ebbs and flows, but it's still continuing. And kind of like Kentucky now, to try and get a reservation into a winery, you need to do it months in advance.
Yeah.
Just like getting to a distillery, you have to do it months in advance.
Right. We sit there and we think about that. Is this bubble going to burst? So as bourbon fans, we talk about that all the time. Is the bubble going to burst? Are you planning to stop being as enthusiastic about bourbon as you are now? No, I think everybody down here, we're all talking about going on trips and doing things together and taking individual vacations, taking vacations together. It seems to be we're doing more. And the thirst for it is nonstop. I mean, we had 2 events. I hadn't been doing as many events because I had the shop, but I recently threw out for 2 events. I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing something, had Bardstown Motor Lodge as the base. And my idea was if we can get 10 people together, we could have kind of a fun thing where we travel around to go to some distilleries. I'll call in front and make sure that they know we're coming, and hopefully they'll take care of us. Well, 60 people book rooms. We had 60 people going. Then I said, we're going to go on this train thing. And by the way, if we get, I forget, is it 36 or something like that? We can rent the whole train car. And like 45 minutes later, we had a whole train car booked. And people were left out and they're mad. They're like, well, I wasn't at my computer for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and there were some of us that were like, well, we'll just jump on a second car that won't be all us, because I set out because I was like, I don't know what my husband's doing that day. His schedule's stupid. I was like, well, I can jump on the second one and still kind of hang out with you guys. So
yeah, exactly.
People doing that too.
Yeah. So it's so our thirst as bourbon fans isn't going away. Demetrius, you work in the business. I see what's going on with your place. There's no sign of anything slowing down. Though, the more you put into it, the more you make yourself available. Open up a tasting room, do events. The more you do stuff, the greater people come out and participate in it. There's nothing slowing down out there.
No, I think the bottom line is make good product. If you make good product, people show up. We're blowing away every single day. It's like, we have a never-ending supply of some of the most amazing people that we've ever met. And honestly, it's just incredibly humbling to be allowed to make amazing product. And I think that and I think there's so many distillers like us that work really hard at this, and we're just honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's so neat seeing what's happening with you and your distillery. And we're going to do a whole show about you coming up here, so I don't want to get too much into that stuff now. But it's been neat to be able to watch, because I get it. Your plan is always, this is how this is going to work, and here's what I want to do. And but there's a lot of lonely times in there where it's just you and a still, filling barrels, rolling barrels onto a rack, or taking them to wherever they need to go, and it's not a lot of excitement, not a lot of people coming by your distillery. They're not watching you do it. You're just out there just doing these things, assuming it's going to all come together kind of as you think. And it's kind of all coming together for you, buddy. So it's kind of a neat thing to be able to watch from the sidelines, man.
Well, I appreciate it. It's definitely an interesting, it's been one hell of an interesting journey. I guess.
Yeah. So, and when you get ready to go to Mexico, well, I'll hook you up. I got a guy down there, so I'll get you hooked up with the distributor down there. I got a guy. We know somebody down there, I think. Luke, you got to come up here and see what's going on with this guy, man.
I'm all ready. Let's do it right now,
dude. It's crazy what's happening in St. Louis and in this market with Demetrius Kane. I mean, he is the biggest thing going on. This is like what we've been waiting for. This is like what St. Louis has wanted. We want to be players. We love whiskey. You look at our per capita, we're right up there. We're top 5 in whiskey consumption per person. When you look at it like that, when you look at us, versus states that are much bigger than us, obviously they dwarf us just based on population. But when you look at per capita, Missouri is up there, and we've been waiting for to have our own hero, our own superhero in this business, and we finally got it. And I think this guy has people's attentions, and it's cool. It's very cool what's happening. And right now, is that happening on a national basis? No. It's a local thing, but it's going to get there. I mean, when you're doing the things he's doing, it's that fire is being stoked right now, and it's gonna, and it's spreading every day. I'm sure more and more people know about him. You're on the show and things like that, but it's cool, buddy.
I got to believe that the boom from Kentucky has just reached out to other states, and just St. Louis is a good example. I mean, St. Louis has always been a strong bourbon town. I mean, if you go back in history, it really happened. But the revitalization, and then what Demetrius is doing is you know, got to give the credit to a lot of the Kentuckian industry that it's boomed and it's gone beyond state lines.
We all of us, every single bourbon fan owns a debt of gratitude to Kentucky. Because you know what? Kentucky wasn't the king of bourbon, Prohibition times. Illinois was the king at one point.
Illinois,
yeah. I mean, so Kentucky wasn't the end all, but you know where they won out is during Prohibition. They stuck with it. As they emerged from it, they're the ones that had all the the medicinal licenses, and they stick around and they stick with that industry and they get up and running, and everyone else pretty much moved on. You look at what happened in St. Louis or Missouri, the state of Missouri. You think after Prohibition, other than McCormick, everyone else pretty much just moves on and does something else. We had a great distilling scene here in Missouri. That all went away, other than with the exception of one holdout. And of course, they were never the biggest thing or anything like that. They just managed to somehow keep it together. But yeah, it's really kind of cool what's happening. So. And again, we all owe that to Kentucky for keeping the bourbon industry going. And they're still, numbers wise, they're still the biggest. There's so many coming up now. And again, we're going through a process of everyone gets in the game, and then now it's kind of starting to weed some out. And I think that'll continue to be so. And people like Demetrius, who are doing a great job, will just get bigger and stronger. And the bad ones, the weak ones, are going to die on the vine. And that's just how it has to work. So,
Steve, I think I know we're rounding up here, but I think what really fuels the fire is stuff like this. We all know that all bourbon comes from Kentucky. It all can be from Kentucky, so it fuels everybody else. I'm holding up a Deer Hammer sticker. No one cares that you're from Kentucky. You know how much fire that when everybody says only bourbon comes from Kentucky, it is amazing how much that hits a fire for all the other states to say I can make better product. I'm going to make something on par with that. And that just continues to raise the bar. But the competition is raising the bar and growing the pie. It's not about just growing my slice.
Yeah.
So I think it's very interesting to watch that part of it. And the distillers that are coming up, they're training at the Kentucky distilleries or peers from various different centers of distilling education and everything. And they're bringing it back and they're trying to make products that are on par, if not better, than what we all traditionally say are the big bourbon. And
Demetrius threw a text in the group chat or whatever, and he's right to some degree, but it's like no one's learning from what they did either. By the way, so Kentucky has the KDA, which is a centralized governing body that helps the industry, that the industry funds, and that then helps make legislation and works with. There's no other state with anything like. You look at California wine. Why is California wine still the king of the? Every state has its own little winery area. Even in Missouri, there's Missouri wines, and they're bundled together where the wineries are. But California is where it's all happening because they know they do it best. And Kentucky still, with the legislation that they do, they continue to get things passed. And that's the thing that's missing from anybody else out there. As I talk about the exciting things going on in Missouri, there's no unified distilling front. All the distillers aren't working together. We're not there. Colorado, I talk about how great they don't have their act together on that stuff either. They're Texas. We talk to Texas is doing great. There's some good distilleries coming up and getting strong in Texas or New York. They don't have a KDA type of organization. So,
and like Indiana, we have one of the biggest whiskey factories in the world, and Indiana legislature was like, we want to act like we're still in prohibition. It's ridiculous here. Absolutely ridiculous.
Some of the worst alcohol laws in the United States in Indiana. Yeah, finally got to start selling on Sundays not that long ago.
It was less than a decade ago. I was podcasting when that happened. So less than a decade ago that we got Sunday sales. And it's very limited. It is noon to 8 p.m. if you're curious, India.
There you go. Name a better Kentucky story than a distillery burning down and everybody else opening up their doors and say, pick whatever you want.
All right.
Yeah. The kinship there is something else. Like they're just all in it to win it, but helpful to each other.
Yeah. There you go. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Tim, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Our Flagship Whiskey or on Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
All right, Luke.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at Santa Fe Boutique Wines, and you can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay. Demetrius.
You can find me at Nobleton's on Instagram and Facebook, or at Demetrius Kane on Instagram and Facebook.
McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, that thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. The ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. You never know who's going to be in there. So look at our events and things like that, our classes over at abvbarrelshop.com. You can sign up for our email distribution there as well. You'll know what picks we have coming in, what's there now, and so much more, what classes we have going on. So check us out online. Again, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Farnance, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing, the ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.